at all at his EVCs this year. It's because the power of Protoss.
I've guessed a lot of really good PvPs on heavyweight. That is for sure. With the Rare.com Invitational and the Endless game on Blu-ray. And those two tournaments mostly. I think on Sao Paulo I casted one pretty good PvP. Either way, lots of PvPs. Not too many ZVZs just yet, but it's time for our final best of tier today. Our players are ready. We are ready. Hopefully you guys are ready as well. And hopefully you had a fun day watching WCS. And I'm sure we have a lot of Scarlett fans watching right now. So I'd say, well, Ben. Well, we're going to have to be as biased as possible. As neutral as possible. I'd be completely okay with either player winning. But, you know, I do know that it's good for the tournament if Scarlett wins. But I also always love it when our Chinese players do well. Especially when... You know, we know almost nothing about Toodming. We've definitely got to know Maxit and Jim over the last year. And hopefully we get to know Top a little better this year. Toodming looks very promising. But we are going to go ahead and introduce our fan favorite first.
That's right.
Do it, Ben.
The top left-hand corner of Heavy Rain. The Red Zerg player, the Canadian. She is Scarlett of Team
The Queen
Acer.
of Blades.
And I think it's safe to say that Scarlett's the fan favorite here. For most of those of you guys that are watching, down in the bottom right is the Blue Zerg player, Toodming. He's from China, of Team Zenith of Origin.
Curious to see what kind of style Scarlett brings to the table on Heavy Rain, as we know that she often likes to open up gasless in pretty much most of her matchups. And I really wonder what to expect from Toodming in this matchup, as it's safe to say for me, I have not casted a ZVZ of him yet.
Yeah.
I took a look at the run that he had throughout his qualifiers as well, because of course he had to go through qualifiers before even qualifying for Challenger League. As in Challenger League he was able to defeat Drunken Boy 3-1, we already mentioned it before. In the Chinese bracket he did defeat XY, but that was the only truly noticeable name that I saw there, which was also a Terran, so there's really no telling in how good or, you know, how mediocre his ZVZ might be.
Kicking things off with a macro game. Hatch first from both of our players, going down at the exact same time. And man, I am very, very curious to see which of these players is going to have the better ZVZ. It is such a toss-up to me.
And how good has Hart looked today as well. Like we started off this day and it was so hard to say who was going to make it out. A lot of people thought Scarlett is going to make it out. And as amazing as Scarlett is, I knew it was going to be pretty tough for her. Because this is just that type of group that surprises could happen. And I definitely think that it has happened today. Hart just playing absolutely fantastic. And even Masa having a, you know, I would still say a good showing in the end, playing very well against Toodming in game 2. And he got close to winning against Scarlett. Everything could have been different. There's a good chance that that game on Polo Night messed up his mindset a little bit. Yeah. I know it would mess up my mindset.
You know, I think Axiom has been such a good thing for all the Axiom players. I think we can probably agree that none of the Axiom players would have the kind of success they've had were they not on Team Axiom. Maybe Rion being the exception. But through Axiom and the great management and the great job that those guys have done, they've taken a GSTL championship, they've made multiple deep runs in WCS.
Some careers that you thought were almost over, like the ones of Alicia, got suddenly to see a whole new life.
Even Hart, I think a lot of people had written Hart off at a point, and I think it's very safe to say that the games we've seen from him in his Challenger match, in his Premier group today,
were the better than we've ever seen.
Absolutely. So a huge nod to Total Biscuit and his team for all the great work they've done.
We've given them so many nods already.
Well, one more
you're bothering that biscuit.
That was funny. Good pun. Really well done. I like that.
Speed on the way for Scarlett. Ironically enough, I was completely wrong, as I thought the Scarlett might be the one delaying those expected a little bit. But nope, it is Toodming who's doing so, Ben. So he is playing a little more greedy than Scarlett
showing us so much confidence, in fact, that he's going to send his queen out to chase away an Overlord. Something that I like very much.
Yep. He was also trying to bring it as close as possible to the Overlord, Ben. Have to mention it once in broadcast.
But Scarlett was quick and moved away, forcing Toodming to
it's still going to die.
Give chase. Yep.
This is a nice. Oh, that's a very quick layer here for Scarlett. Yeah. 5 minutes and 28 seconds layer over here on Heavy Rain.
Something else that Scarlett has in common with Kane is that she's not afraid to play 2-base Muta in this matchup as well as in ZVT. So she looks like she's going to be doing just that. That said, this is a good scout from Toodming, and that might force Scarlett to change gears a little bit.
But with the opening that Toodming has, there's not too much that he can really do. He's like, okay, I scout this. He has 4 drones once more in his extractor. Of course, not necessarily the end of the world. I almost make it feel like, is there a... No. There's no option that you can turn that off, right? The work account.
I don't know.
I actually think there is. Yeah, there is an option that you can turn off these numbers. I forgot what it is. Unless they changed it.
Toodming's like, it's too easy with these numbers on. I'm gonna turn them off. Make it harder on myself.
Because this is not the first time that we see this today, and it almost can't be a coincidence anymore. Either way, Baneless is going down for Scarlett on the top side of the map as well. Roach Dwarn and Double Evo Chambers are going down for Toodming.
Interesting choice that he would go Roach Dwarn after the great scout that he got. But I guess it's just a safety thing, and I guess it could also mean that he's just wanting to cover his bases.
Kind of wonder if we're going to see him squeeze out more and more and more drones and then just throw down a bunch of spores, because Scarlett is going to open up with a few middleists, but if she sees that, you know, there's barely any anti-air, then she might make a lot more. I think it could get a little dicey for Toodming.
Yeah. So far, Toodming has managed to fully saturate his bases. He's even making a couple of roaches.
49 drones on the top side of the map for Scarlett, 45 for Toodming, which I found a little bit surprising, considering the fact that the opening felt a little more economic for Toodming.
You know, this feels pretty good for Toodming, though.
Oh,
whoa,
Nidus network!
Love this! And suddenly it all makes sense. Now, we've talked about Roach Nidus as...
You talked a lot about Roach Nidus.
As an answer to Mutaplay, and it's not by any stretch the end-all be-all counter to Mutalisks, but it is a phenomenal way to punish somebody who is not prepared for it, and Scarlett is in no way prepared for this, Kev. She's got no vision of the right side of her main.
This is going to be the Overlord. He's destined for great things.
And Toodming's continued his queen production. He's got 5 queens. This is very simply going to be...
Overseer Ben is going to spot it soon.
Not yet.
Scarlett must be so confused right now.
And roaches
I think now she knows. Like, all those roaches being there, like, why would those roaches be so afraid? Well, she doesn't see the Nidus just yet. Yeah, she's checking for it. She just repositioned the Overlord, but it's already a little too late. Drones coming in as well, so a lot of spores will probably go down. We have a bunch of queens as well. Immediately she's focusing the drones.
One spore is going to start. That's just that's it, man. That's a fantastic attack from Toodming, who we see putting another Nidus in the middle of the map. I can't really say why, but I guess why not. As the main base of Scarlett is going to get absolutely ravaged here. Muta's doing an okay job overhead. The Queen's using up a lot of transfuse energy, but when that Spore Crawler finishes, there will be no more chance to basically attack this position.
I think this is why Toodming threw down another Nidus. As the Nidus in the main will fall. Scarlett is going to try to send most of her drones to the third base, but if he loses the main man, Spore is being repositioned right now, but 5 Mutalists is just not enough to deal with Queens. And he can't mine from this base because Toodming has roaches on the high ground.
Oh, what a cool build from Toodming. This is, again, a very viable answer to Muta's when you can hide it. If you can't, then it's not going to work, but in this case it worked out very, very well. Scarlett caught completely off guard by this. And that means Toodming can take game number 1 with a little bit of shenanigans, a little bit of fireworks, and a single Spore Crawler. Offensive Spore Crawler. Good game gets called, and a good game indeed. I really like the build from Toodming.
Yeah, good build, good execution as well. There's not much that you can do wrong with it, I guess, but he just did a good job in hiding it, put the Nidus in that right way. If that, like, Overseer spots it immediately, there is a chance that Scarlett can perhaps still defend. But the moment that the Nidus goes up, the moment the first 3 units leave that Nidus network, then you kind of know you're doomed.
I didn't put it together for the longest time. I was like, why would he go to roaches after seeing the fast layer from Scarlett? And I was like, well, maybe he's going to get a layer to make Hydra, and then he's going to be kind of safe. And then he throws down the Nidus. I'm just like, that's smart.
Now it all makes sense.
That's really smart.
It's sort of a long day of Stalker. It's been a lot of ZVTs. You have the ZVT mindset going on, and that's time for ZVT. Yeah. Our second map is going to be played on Frost. We're going to take a final, very short commercial break, but after that we'll be right back.
Hopefully it's not our final commercial break.
No, we have one more.
If it's our final commercial break, then that's it for Scarlett.
No, yeah, but we would have one more regardless, so I was wrong anyways. I didn't